Bantam Doubleday Dell Audio Publishing presents Star Wars: The New Rebellion by Kristine Kathryn Rusch. He stood on the highest point on the planet of Almania, the roof of a tower built by the once powerful Jedi. The tower was in ruins, the roof littered with debris from ancient battles. From here, though, he could see his city. 1,000 lights spread before him, the streets empty except for droids and the ever-present guards. An icy wind rippled his black cloak. The death's head mask he had worn since destroying the Jehar hung on a silver chain around his neck. Above him the stars winked. Hard to believe worlds existed there, worlds he would control. Soon. He tilted his head back and closed his eyes. No explosion this time, no bright flare of light. Skywalker had told him of the moment Alderaan died. "I feel a great disturbance in the Force," the old man had said. At least that's what Skywalker had told him. This disturbance would not be as great. But Skywalker would feel it. So would his sister. The young Jedi would feel it too, and they would know that the balance of power had shifted. But they wouldn't know that power had shifted to him. To Queller, Master of Almania, and soon Lord of all their pitiful worlds. Brakiss hated the towers. It felt as if something rattled in their walls, and once when he was in the catacombs below, he had seen a large white ghost. The stairs twisted, and he finally reached the roof. Queller did not bother to turn around. "I told you to wait below." Brakiss swallowed. "I had to know if it worked." "You'll know when it works." Queller's voice was a live thing. It surrounded Brakiss, resonated within him, and held him at bay. Suddenly the wind died. The air around Brakiss froze, and so did he. In that moment he heard, felt, saw a million voices scream in terror. The terror rose in him, and he saw again that moment when Master Skywalker led him deep into his own heart. That moment when he saw himself clearly and nearly lost his mind. As the other screams exploded around him, they filled him, warming him. He felt stronger, larger, more powerful than he ever had before. He looked up. Queller had raised his arms, his head tilted back, his face uncovered for the first time in years. He laughed, a deep rumbling sound that shook the entire tower. Brakiss braced himself against the stone. It worked. Queller slipped the mask back over his face. "Well enough." Brakiss pushed off the wall and started toward the stairs. "I'm going back to Telti." "Good. But you will give me the remote first." Brakiss held out the remote. "It's slower than the controls I built you." "Fine. You have to set the security codes. You have to instruct it which serial numbers to follow." "Brakiss, I can operate remotes." Brakiss moved out of the cold wind. "What do you want from me when I return to Telti?" "Skywalker. The great Jedi Master, Luke the Invincible Skywalker." Queller's voice thrummed with the depth of his hatred. The chill had reached Brakiss' heart. "What do you plan to do with him?" "Destroy him. The person who kills the great Jedi Luke Skywalker becomes the strongest in the galaxy." Luke Skywalker was balanced on one hand, his fingers deep in the moist jungle earth. Sweat dripped down his naked back onto his face and off his nose and chin. R2-D2 floated in the air above him, along with several boulders and a half-rotted tree. A group of Luke's students were gathered around him. He had been in this position since the huge orange sphere of the gas planet Yavin rose on the horizon of its fourth moon. Yet he didn't feel tired or thirsty. The force flowed through him like cool water, holding R2, the boulders, and the tree aloft. Suddenly, a wave of emotion slammed into him, cold, hard, and filled with terror. Mixed with terror and pain was the shock of betrayal, a shock multiplied by the millions of minds who felt it. R2 screamed as he shot across the sky, the sound mingling with the screams in Luke's mind. His arm collapsed beneath him, and he tumbled to the ground. He lay on his back, the screams still echoing in his mind. "Master Skywalker?" One of his students bent over him. "What happened, Master Skywalker?" He pushed himself up on his elbows. 1 million people died a moment ago, all in great pain and with great suddenness. A vast evil had returned to the galaxy, and it threatened Leia. For now the days of teaching were over. He and R2 had to leave immediately for Coruscant. Leia Organa Solo, Chief of State of the New Republic, adjusted the belt on her long white gown. She took a deep breath. She didn't look much different from the girl who had walked into the Imperial Senate filled with hope and idealism, Princess Leia Organa of Alderaan, the youngest senator, the one who believed that persuasion and reason would save the old Republic, the one who lost her idealism the moment she stared into Senator Palpatine's ruined face. Mon Mothma knew what was troubling her. "They're members of the New Republic now, Leia. They were elected fairly." Several planets had petitioned the Senate to allow former Imperials to serve as representatives, arguing that some of the best politicians had kept their peoples alive by working with the Empire as minor functionaries. They were petty bureaucrats who had saved dozens of rebel lives by overlooking strange troop movements or unusual faces in the crowds. But still, Leia felt this law was wrong. "They're going to destroy all we've worked for," she said. Mon Mothma took Leia's arm. "You don't know that. Someday we must move beyond the rebellion and into true government. Part of that, Leia, is accepting those who lived under the Empire but did not serve it." Leia straightened, a leader once more. "All right, let's get on with this." Mon Mothma did not move toward the door. "One more thing. Remember that whatever tone you set in the opening remarks of this Senate will be the focus of the debate for years to come." "I know." Leia reached for the door. When a wave of deep cold smashed into her, she froze. Voices screamed. Then she saw a face, a white face with black, empty eyes, like the death's masks she had seen in a museum on Alderaan in her youth. "Luke!" Leia freed herself from Mon Mothma's hold and headed toward the communications control. She contacted Yavin 4, only to be told Luke was in his X-Wing. "Leia, what is it?" Mon Mothma asked. Leia didn't answer. She waited to be patched into Luke's X-Wing. Soon his voice filled the room. "Leia?" He sounded as if he had been worried too. "I'm fine, Luke," she said, relief filling her. "I'm coming to you. Wait for me." "You felt it too, didn't you? What was that?" "I'll be there soon, Leia." He signed off. She wasn't ready for him to disappear so soon. She needed him. Something awful had happened. Something like the destruction of Alderaan. Han sat in the back corner of the smoke-filled room. He hadn't been in this casino since before he married Leia, when he won the planet Dathomir in a game of sabacc. The air smelled of damp decay mixed with smoke and alcohol. A mediocre band played Tatooine blues. All around him, conversation rose and fell with the fortunes at the sabacc tables. He clutched a pale blue geyser ale and turned to his companion. "I don't believe you came to Coruscant just to buy me a drink, Yaril." Yaril was a small man with narrow shoulders and a face scarred from years of harsh living. Yaril shrugged. "I didn't. He down.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?